What is up, guys? Welcome back to Trading Off Tilt. I'm Ryan, and today we're going to be going over Solana. So I'm going to be showing you guys my Elliott Wave count for Solana. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. I'll show you guys my main count right here. So yeah, let's zoom into this intermediate wave 1. And to start out, this minor wave 1 is not perfect. You can't make an impulse wave out of it, so you're kind of forced to shove in a diagonal here, which admittedly does not make a perfect diagonal either. But you kind of have to give these altcoins a little bit of leeway because they don't always abide by Elliott Wave rules perfectly. So yeah, that's what I have for this. And then you come up for this extended wave 3, and then up for the wave 5 to complete this intermediate wave 1. This intermediate wave 2 comes in the form, it comes in the form of a zigzag, which also is not very pretty. But like I mentioned, you have to give a little bit more leeway to these altcoins because, yeah, like I said, they don't always behave perfectly. But yeah, that's what I have for this wave 2. It would be pretty short wave C, but yeah, and then a pretty long wave A. But that's the best way to count it that I've come up with. And then moving on to this intermediate wave 3, this would be a wave 1 here, that for wave 2, 3, 4, 5. Not a lot to get into right there. But then this intermediate wave 4, there's multiple ways of counting it. So upon first look, you might say this is a triangle, like I did. So I thought, this is a wave A, B, C, D, E. And characteristically, it does look quite a lot like a triangle. So we could zoom in to it real quick. You can make nice zigzags for the most part. For A, B, C, A, B, C. And here it's a little bit more scuffed. A, B, C, A, B, C. It's not perfect, but I would say this would be a valid triangle. But the only thing is, if you zoom out again, then if you were to count this as a B, C, then a D, E to complete the triangle, then this section right here, you cannot really find a nice wave 1 and a wave 2. So what I prefer to do is say that this is actually either truncated zigzag or a WXY for an A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C for WXY, or a truncated zigzag. In which case, you'd have to squeeze in a wave 3, 4 into this section right here. But that's probably what I would do personally, is say this is a wave 1 and a wave 2 right here. So then you could get this wave, you get more wave symmetry between this wave 3 and this wave 4, as well as the wave 5. So yeah, that's what I would do personally with this section right here. But yeah, anyways, let's move on and move more towards the more recent price action of this wave 5. This wave 5 is a little bit tricky to count as well, but the best way I would do it is putting the wave 1 right here. Then we move down for the wave 2, up for the wave 3, which does not overlap this wave 1, thankfully, and then up for this wave 5. You could also say this is a diagonal, an ending diagonal, but I'm not inclined to do that because this wave 4 does not overlap this wave 1. The only reason I would do that is because this wave 1 does not make a nice 5-wave impulse, so it kind of does make a more of a 3-wave move of an A, B, C. So that's why I do have that as an option, a ending diagonal. But personally, I am just going to be going with this wave 1, and probably a very short wave 3, or rather a very short wave 4, somewhere in here, to complete this wave 1. Alright, so now zooming out to show you guys the bigger picture of what we're looking at. Basically what I have, what I have right here is that we just completed an intermediate wave 5. Now this could arguably be of one higher degree primary, but I think just the time it took to complete compared to Bitcoin, where this started in March, or actually really May 2020, and it came all the way to November of 2021. So it took a little bit over about a year and a half. So I would say this is intermediate degree, but anyways, that's besides the point. What basically the take-home message is that I think there is a very good possibility that this did top out for this bull cycle, or at least for a long time. So what we're looking at is the completion of a 5-wave impulse of intermediate degree, which means that theoretically we're going to come back down somewhere between this wave 3 and this wave 4. Well, rather, somewhere, another way to put it is somewhere in the price territory of this wave 4. So with Elliott Waves, if you want to find the price targets for a retracement, then typically you want to look for price to retrace in between or somewhere within the price territory of the wave 4. So for example, if this topped out right here, then we'd be looking for price to come anywhere between the top of this wave 3 and the bottom of this wave 4. So if you wanted to long or accumulate down here, that would probably be a solid area to do so. Now, another option is that this is an extended 5th wave, which would mean that this was just a minor wave 1, and these counting up were minute wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in that case, we'd be looking at price targets way higher than what it's already hit. So we'd probably come up here and probably bottom out somewhere pretty close to where we're already at. Maybe a little bit lower to this order block right here at the very lowest. And then we're going to start coming up for this wave 3, 4, 5. But you can't really assume this is going to be a 5th wave extension. You kind of have to just assume that it's going to be a pretty typical wave 5 that tends to have some more wave symmetry or have some more symmetry with the wave 1. And in this case, it actually has almost perfect symmetry in terms of time duration. So if we take a Fibonacci time retracement, or Fibonacci, what is it called? Fibonacci trend-based Fib time tool. This is on TradingView, and compare the length of wave 1 to the length of wave 5. Then this wave 5 right here, theoretically wave 5, comes to about exactly the 1-to-1 of this intermediate wave 1. So it takes almost the exact time that it took to complete this intermediate wave 1, which is pretty cool to see. So yeah, anyways, I just wanted to give you guys those alternatives and show you the implications if this did top out. But without further ado, let's jump into some of the more local price action. Alrighty, so now zoomed into the 2-hour chart, I basically have 2 options to show you guys. The first would be in the scenario that we did, in fact, top out right here. And if we did top out right here, then in this case, I'd be looking for a leading diagonal. So this would be a leading expanded diagonal where we'd come down for A, B, C. Then this wave 2 would be something like an A, B, C, 3, A, B, C, 4, A, B, C. And this wave 5 would be currently in the process of completing, because I could see a clear 5 waves down. If we go, let's zoom in a little bit more. If we were to label it as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then we could get it clear with 5 waves down. Alternatively, this could be a wave 4 right here, because we have not taken out this, we have not come into the price territory of this wave 1 or wave 2. So this could still be a wave 4 here, and we could have yet to come lower for this wave 5. But regardless, if we were to say this wave 4 ended right here or here, then at the very worst, we'd be coming down a little bit lower below the lows before coming back up for this wave B to theoretically complete a zigzag. Because we're gonna, for a diagonal, you want to see all the subdivisions or all the substructures. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all comprised of zigzags. So this would be something like this with 5 waves down, 3 waves up for a wave B, and another 5 waves down for this wave C. So that's the first option I'm looking at right now. The second option I'm going to be looking at would be in the case that this actually did not top out right here. And in that case, we'd be looking at a more corrective structure, wave structure, where this would be a WXY. So to create a WXY right here, I would put this here, section, one second. So to create a WXY, I would make this section all right here a zigzag. So this would be an A, up for a B, down for a C. Then this section right here would be an expanded flat, so an A, B, C. This would be an A, B, C. And then this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to complete the wave C. And that would complete, this would be a W down here. This would be the X wave. And then this would be another Y wave to complete this larger W wave. And this larger W wave would have finished through a zigzag, so an A, B, C. And then moving on to this wave X, this would have just been simply a zigzag for an A, B, C. And then this final wave Y needs to come in the way of theoretically another 3 waves, or it could be a triangle for another 5 waves. But regardless, this made a 5 waves down, so I'm going to be looking for another 5 waves up, or rather another 3 waves up to get the wave B. So something like this, and then another 5 waves down. So it would be the same deal with this WXY as it would be with this leading expanded diagonal. So yeah, those are the 2 options I'm looking at on the lower time frames. Now we could zoom out a little bit more to look at some more price targets for where we could end up bottoming out. And yeah, let's just zoom out a little bit more to, let's go to the daily chart to start out. So a few tools I do want to show you guys. First of all, would be this 012 pitchfork. So when I say 012, it means you're gonna take it from the wave 0, so the start of wave 1, to the end of wave 1, to the bottom of wave 2. And in that case, you get a pretty nice pitchfork which predicted the top of this wave 3, or at least around the top of the wave 3. It also predicted the bottom of this wave 4 and quite close to the top of this wave 5. So I'm definitely going to be keeping this pitchfork on for the near future. And if you were to look for a bottoming place, you could probably say, at least in the local time frames, you might be able to say that we could bottom out for this wave A, right around the midline of this pitchfork. Or if we did already bottom out, then we could be looking out for 3 waves up, and then maybe a 3 or 5 waves down into around the middle of this pitchfork. It doesn't have to be exact, but around the middle. So that's one thing we could be looking at, one tool we could be looking at to give us price targets. Another one would be this 1, 2, 3 channel. So it would be pretty similar. You could really have one or the other on. But let's hide this pitchfork for now. This 1, 2, 3 channel is also pretty nice. You might even say it's more accurate than the pitchfork, but this would be taken from the end of wave 1 to the bottom of wave 2 to the top of wave 3. And it quite nicely predicted these peaks right here. And also wave 4 came not as nicely into the midline, but it did come around the midline before ejecting. So this is also something to be looking at. Another thing would be the global volume profile. So if you take a fixed volume range tool and you pull it from the beginning to the end, then you want to be looking at these high volume nodes. So the first notably would be around this one right here, around about $72. And the second one down here, which would be actually a pretty massive level, which if you put on the monthly and the weekly levels, this one around $45 would be a pretty massive level to bottom out in the long term, in the case that this was all the completion of an intermediate wave 5, or in other words, a primary wave 1, and we'd be looking at something like this. So this would probably take a long time to play out to get us all the way down here, but that would be a pretty massive level I'd be looking at to the downside. So let's see if there's anything else I wanted to show you guys in terms of tools. So this golden pocket right here would be pretty big as well. So you could think of this as, oops, let me cancel that. So you could think of us as maybe coming out for 3 waves right here, and when we come down for these next 5 waves, then we might do a swing failure pattern of this low right into the golden pocket, and then come back up. Who knows how far we're going to come up, but if it's the case of the WXY, then really the sky's our limit. So if this did not top out right here, and this is really just maybe a wave 1, minor wave 1 right here, then we could really be coming up a lot higher, like I mentioned. But that's a target that I'd be looking for to the downside in the near future. Another one would be this target right here around $72, like I mentioned. But yeah, those are basically the main targets I'm looking at to the downside. And so let's hide all these things. The main conclusion that I'm going to make based on my Elliott Wave analysis of Solana is that if you want to trade this, that's fine. You could always trade whatever asset you desire. There's always going to be money to be made in assets, whether they're in a bear market or bull market. But I would not really put a ton of money into this asset as the long-term hold right now. Aside from Elliott Waves, we could already see that in the past year, let's go from this bottom right here to this top. In the past year, it's already seen almost 24,000% gains. So it's really up to you if you do want to put your money into that. You might say that it's already gone up so far, it's got to keep going up. But in my opinion, I like to buy assets that are down, and I don't like to buy assets that are already way up from where they were at months ago or a year ago. So in my opinion, I'm not going to treat this as a nice long-term asset, but I will be looking at the levels to the downside, like I mentioned, to trade it. All right, guys, that's about all I wanted to show you in this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see me do more videos like this in the future, or also just let me know what videos you do want to see me cover in the future, what assets you want to see me cover, etc. And leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys over on the next video and on the Discord server. All right, bye.